What's up, YouTube? Doomlink here. Welcome back to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. We are ever approaching closer to 3,000 subs in the channel, so if we could get towards that goal, I thank you all for all the support over the past couple of weeks. It's been awesome, and I've been having a blast playing with Modern Horizons 2, and I'm hope that you have been enjoying the content as much as I have been enjoying making it for you guys. So, with that, I present to you the deck du jour, deck of today that we're going to be playing with. More Modern Horizons 2 stuff, and this is a variation on the Cascade combo decks. Typically, you see Living End, sometimes Crashing Footfalls. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're trying to cascade into Glimpse of Tomorrow. So, Glimpse of Tomorrow is obviously 0 mana, suspend. So it doesn't cost anything, which means as long as you're building your Cascade deck with no other things that cost less than 3, you set it up so that you always Cascade into this, and then you're abusing that synergy, right? So the Glimpse of Tomorrow says, shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your deck. Library. Put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield. Do the same for aura cards, put the rest in the bottom. So basically, it's like a personal warp world. You shuffle all the permanents that you have, including tokens, which is important, and then you put that many permanents, not spells, into play. So our deck is basically entirely permanents outside of the Cascade spell Violent Outburst. And what we're trying to do is, first and foremost, we have 4 copies of Chancellor the Forge. Now remember, with Glimpse of Tomorrow, you need to put a lot of permanents into play. This is something that you can reveal from your opening hand. It doesn't cost you any additional mana. It's basically free for a token. So reveal from your hand, get a token. Wave Sifter, we're usually not hard casting this, so it's evoke it for 2 mana. So for 2 mana, comes into play, sacrifice it, you get 2 clues, which are permanents for Glimpse of Tomorrow. So it's 2 mana for 2 tokens. Season Pyromancer, ideally you're looking to cast your Cascade spell on turn 3, so for the most part, Season Pyromancer is kind of something you want to combo, like you want to hit off of the warp world. So the way that it works is like, okay, so you have all these stuff that you want to play early in the game to generate tokens, right? And then the other big one here is Colony Garden, which is just a land. I'll put this over here. A land enters the battlefield tapped, comes into play, make it 0/1, right? So it's just a land that produces 2 permanents for Warp World. So these are kind of the stuff that we're doing prior to casting Warp World, just to put a bunch of permanents into play. And then you have the Cascade spells. We have 1 copy of Ardent Plea here, just as a sort of 9th additional Cascade spell, just to add a little bit more consistency. I've considered playing more copies. I copied this list from, I think it was Jose, I got the list from, and he's been playing this deck a bunch. So I'm trying out 1 copy. I could see maybe more copies, possibly over like maybe a Pyromancer or something like that. But for now, we're just going to go with the 9 Cascade spells. And then the Glimpses. So you have cheap permanents, Cascade spells, and Glimpses. Now, what's the rest of the deck doing? Okay. So the idea is you want to cast Glimpse of Tomorrow, and basically, once you cast Glimpse of Tomorrow, assuming that you have enough permanents in play to, like, you don't want to cast it with only 3 lands, because you're only getting 3 permanents, you're likely going to whiff. You want to cast it for ideally like 5 or 6, right? And what happens is, when we cascade into Glimpse, we have Tireless Provisioner and Omnath, Locus of Creation, to generate more mana, right? So we can hit Omnath or Tireless Provisioner, which the Tireless Provisioner generates treasures. Omnath with landfall abilities generates landfall triggers, which is more mana to keep going, keep casting more Cascade spells. Because the way that both of these work is Warp World puts all the permanents onto the battlefield at the same time, which means that both of these creatures will trigger off of the lands that also enter the battlefield off of Glimpse of Tomorrow. So you're going to get, additional treasures to keep casting more Cascade spells and kind of keep going, or keep the loop going. Goblin Dark Dwellers, which is especially cool because if you hit Dark Dwellers off of Glimpse of Tomorrow resolves, goes to the graveyard. Dark Dwellers, cast the Glimpse, let you go again. So that's why Dark Dwellers is very important. And then Season Pyromancer, again, it's kind of a way to bridge the gap. I'm not 100% sold that Pyromancer is that good in this deck, but it's kind of good at both ends of the spectrum, right? It's good early if you don't have a lot of permanents and you're missing Cascade spells, so you can churn through your deck, make additional permanents to discard cards that you don't need in your hand, like extra Chancellors or things like that. get you more tokens, and dig you deeper to find the warp world. I guess Cascade spell, excuse me. And then once you've cast Glimpse, it comes into play. If you hit a couple of lands, the lands off of Glimpse come into play untapped. So you have mana floating off of the Glimpse and cards off of the Pyromancer. That might allow you to go again as well. So, essentially, the deck is trying to cast Cascade spell, cast Glimpse with a like 5 or 6. Again, that's the ideal number for the first Glimpse. Put some stuff into play, generate some mana, Glimpse again. Ideally, on the second Glimpse, you have more permanents in play because the first Glimpse, like, if you think about it, you Glimpse for 5, and if 2 of those cards create additional tokens, the second Glimpses now could be for 9 or 10. And once you're getting into those numbers, then you start getting even more mana, which eventually you're going to put Chancellor of the Forge onto the battlefield, and the trigger, which says when it enters the battlefield, create X/1/1 red goblin creature tokens with haste. X is the number of creatures you control, will likely just kill your opponent because you're just going basically churning through your deck. And then once you've gotten to the like third or fourth glimpse on the same turn, this deck can cast 3 or 4 glimpses in the same turn, and it's kind of crazy when it does. So hopefully we'll get to see that. But that's kind of the end goal: is like you cast the first glimpse, put some stuff into play, get some more mana, cast a second glimpse, put more stuff into play, and eventually you get to the Chance of the Forge either off of the glimpse or if it's in your hand, you can generate enough mana off of Omnath and Provisioner triggers. So that was a mouthful. That's kind of what the deck is trying to do. And then the mana base is pretty just kind of a lot of fetches and shocks. We want a good number of fetch lands because we're playing Provisioner and Omnath, so we want to be able to trigger those when we're kind of going through the glimpse stuff. And then a Gemstone Caverns for, when you're on the draw, 2 Gemstone Mines just to kind of smooth out the mana base, and then a couple of basics because frequently you get into a spot where you Glimpse of Tomorrow into a couple fetch lands multiple times, right? So you can like glimpse into a couple fetch lands, and if you're going again, you ideally want to float mana, but you don't always have the life total to fetch shock a couple of times. Also, your life total might be under duress, so you want to be able to fetch basics often, right? So you can cast glimpse, hit a couple of fetches, fetch for basics, float mana, then cast glimpse again. So you don't want to be taking a bunch of damage that way. So that's a lot, but that is, for the most part, what the deck is trying to do. Hopefully, again, I know it may be a little confusing, but hopefully we'll kind of get to see it in action. At first glance, it doesn't look like a lot's going on here, but trust me when I say this deck can do some pretty powerful stuff. And then the sideboard, we have answers for Chalice, Void Mirror. I'm sure there's some other Trinisphere, stuff like that. Damping Sphere, Fury for the aggro matchups, Dispute for the control matchups, Leyline for the discard matchups. So it's a fairly straightforward sideboard. Just kind of 4-4-4-3, all of the best versions of the card. I wonder if maybe we should play 4 Foundation Breakers. I think the split, like 1 Force of Vigor, is a concession to specifically like Etron that generates multiple hate permanents. Like they can play Chalice and like Grafdigger's Cage or something like that. I believe this Grafdigger's Cage stops this. It doesn't say exile first. Yeah. So unlike Living End, Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop Living End, because Living End exiles the creatures and then puts them into play. This doesn't do that, so. But yeah, that is the deck list. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting anymore. This deck's pretty sweet. So with that, I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. Alrighty, YouTube, we are back here for round number 1. This deck is sweet. Okay, so we have turn 1. Well, hopefully I don't have a discard spell. We have turn 1 Garden, turn 2 Garden, turn 3 Shardless with 5 permanents, so I'm going to keep it. This deck does have 9 Cascade spells, so even if they have a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition, hopefully we can just draw another one. But, I mean, this is kind of as good as it gets. Multiple permanent Cascade spell. I know we have 6 lands, but, I guess the ideal start would be replacing one of these with a Wave Sifter, so that if they have a discard spell, I can start sacking the clues to try and find another Cascade spell. But I can't complain. So, well, I'm on to 5. 1 to 5 usually doesn't mean Thoughtseize deck. Usually means degenerate stuff. So we'll see what we're up against. Eldrazi Temple. That could be a Thought-Knot Seer. Also, these decks typically have main deck Chalice. So let's hope they don't have main deck Chalice, or they hope they don't play Chalice on 0 and they know what's up, because we can't actually beat a Chalice on 0 game 1. I mean, we could try and play a fair game, but... Oh. That is not what I thought it was going to be. Okay, I can beat a Battery Shaper. Whew. Alright, well, let's go. Is there a reason to play a fetch land? I don't think so. Alright. Here we go. Glimpse of tomorrow. Drum roll, please. That is an excellent way to start off the YouTube video. Alright. Oh, this deck is a hoot. Well, the good news is, now if they have Thought-Knot Seer, my hand is basically Thought-Knot Seer proof, because then I can just untap and play the other Pyromancer. Oh, this deck is something else. Looks like a Thought-Knot Seer to me. Yeah, take a Pyromancer. This deck is wild. This deck is wild. I'm not going to block if they attack. Well, they didn't attack. Alright, I'm just going to get some shock lands. Probably Stomping Ground Steam Vent. I guess I could get Stomping Ground Hallowed Fountain, then Basic Mountain. It's probably better in case I draw Ardent Plea. The green, blue, white. And then I have green, blue, and red, green. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess maybe Temple Garden's better than Hallowed Fountain. No, because I don't know blue. Oh. Well, or we could just draw in the Shardless Agent. That works too. Alright, let's get Basic Mountain. You know, sometimes you just have it. Alright, well, take 2. Let's do this again, see what happens. Anything could happen at this point. Alright, take 2. Are we gonna get there? Kinda. Debating on paying 2 life. I think I will pay 2 life. So, we're going to draw some cards and get some Omnath triggers. Redome them, investigate twice, draw a card off of Omnath. Make a plant. And now we have access to... Oh, I guess we don't have a second red. Because I can fetch for a red source and play Pyromancer, but then I don't have access to red mana to play Violent Outburst. But I could play Shardless Agent or Ardent Plea, so I'm going to get a Basic Mountain. I'm just going to put a bunch of stuff into play. I'm going to cast Pyromancer, Floating, blue-green, and then if I draw Ardent Plea, I have white mana here. I'm going to keep the fetch land because I have the Omnath. Okay, we'll sack a Clue because I got 2 mana left over. Alright. So we kind of brick twice. But as you can see, even when you brick, as long as you're not playing against an unfair deck, when you brick, you just create a huge board. You know, like, you can just beat people with Omnath and Wavesifter. You don't necessarily need to combo off. Obviously, it's cool that you can do that, but... I'm just glad that we got the Cascade into multiple Shardlesses. Or, Glimpse of Torrent into multiple Shardlesses on camera. That's great. Okay, Nahiri. Nahiri's a little scary-ish. Alright, Cascade spell? Okay, if this one isn't good enough, then I'm going to be surprised. So let's go fetch. I'm going to generate mana off the Omnath before I cast Warp World. Or Glimpse. I always keep calling it Warp World. Get an island. I'm going to float a bunch of mana. And then we'll go blue-white. I think I'd rather float more green mana. Alright, here's the third one. So we get to do this for 10 with 5 mana floating. This one's got to be good enough. I promise. If this one's not good enough, then this deck can't be good. You want to pay 2 life? Yeah, I just want more mana. Okay, so we're going to put the Goblin Dark Dweller trigger on the stack first, because we want that to resolve after all of this stuff. Because we're going to get a whole bunch of tokens and then go again. You see what happens? See how this goes? is we just get a whole bunch of tokens here, and then we just get to go again. Just going to make a bunch of treasures. I'm going to end up not stacking the treasures for mana because I'd rather just have more permanence off of the next glimpse. So we'll draw a card here. And then with this on the stack, I'm going to fetch, not only to get the Omnath triggers for more mana, but I also just want to float mana before I glimpse again. And more Provisioner triggers. So we'll fetch again. Again, you just want as much mana as possible. Treasure. Fetch again. Yeah, I mean, if this one's not good enough, then I don't know what is. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so float a bunch of mana. I'm not going to sack the treasures because I want to keep those in play for Glimpse. Alright. I'm not even going to count. 8, 9, 7, 13, 16. 16's got to be enough. Okay, this looks like it's enough. I'm just going to make more mana. Okay. Trigger. Trigger. Target different ones just in case that comes up. The only thing is you have to worry about is if you're playing this deck specifically on Magic Online, I can't imagine, this must be a nightmare in paper, but if you're playing it on Magic Online, you can run into some issues where you just kind of lag the client out. You just go through your entire deck. Man, this deck is wild. Okay. I think this is probably going to be good enough, though. We might not even need to go to attack step. We might just be able to kill them with, what you call it? Okay, well that should be lethal. They're also at 6. Do I want to cast a Warp World just for content? I'm just worried it's going to crash the client. They're at 6, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to make 10 tokens. They have 2 blockers. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to cast it. I could for content, but I have lethal in play, so there's kind of no reason to. I also just am extremely worried about crashing the client. Because that does happen. So I'll just kill them. Even though it's way more fun to keep casting Glimpse, but this will sack some clues. So I have I'm just gonna play more creatures before I play the Chancellor. 7, 10, 15. So we can cast this. And then the Chancellor. Alright. It only took us a few spins, but we got there. Okay. Was it 11 tokens? Okay. Alright, game number 2. What a game. Okie dokie. I have to imagine that my opponent probably has some artifacts and enchantments that are problematic for me, so I'm going to assume that I want to bring in these cards. And I think in the post-board games, it's just kind of trimming numbers a little bit. They don't have as much hand disruption. It's only Thought-Knots here, so I think I can afford to cut the extra Cascade spell. And then it's just like kind of trimming numbers on some of the combo-centric pieces. Because you can play a fair game against them. Pyromancer's pretty good in the fair game. Maybe just a couple more Chancellors. Shave at Dark Dwellers. And maybe just not the Force of Vigor, maybe just the 3 Breakers. Okay, let's try this. Again, sideboarding is kind of weird with this deck. Because I do think that you can just beat them at a fair game. Just because Omnath is so powerful, just Omnath into Chancellor. And also, Omnath, like, generating you extra mana can just hardcast Chancellors pretty easily. The turn after you play Omnath. So it's like... you could definitely hardcast Chancellor. Alright, what is this hand? Well, this hand has a lot of permanence and a sideboard disenchant. So, obviously we're missing a Cascade spell, but we have a lot of permanence, like Wave Sifter and Multiple Gardens. We have a sideboard card, and we have a Pyromancer to dig, so I can't imagine mulliganing this hand. So we'll go ahead and keep. See what our opponent's up to. Looks like they're on a mulligan. I just can't get over the glimpse into Two shardless 3 lands. Or was it two shardless 2 lands? I can't remember. I thought it was 3 lands. I think it was 3 lands. Alright, it appears that they are mulliganing down, down, down. They are on... Well, they're only on 6. Looks like they're just tanking on their 6. And the reason you're playing the reason you're playing Foundation Breaker over additional copies of Force of Vigor is because Foundation Breaker, I didn't mention this in the intro, but Foundation Breaker also is something that enters the battlefield off of Glimpse, where Glimpse only counts permanents. So you can't glimpse into Force, but you can glimpse into Foundation Breaker. We drew the Cascade spell, so we're kind of lined up here. I'm just going to go turn 2 Foundation Breaker, probably just turn 3 Outburst. I might want to wait till I get more permanents, though. I do kind of want to play the Foundation Breaker as soon as possible before they have the opportunity to play Thought-Knots here. Although it does unlock another Chalice. So there's arguments to... I mean, I guess what I could do is just go Foundation Breaker on 2, Pyromancer on 3, Outburst on 4. Yeah, I think I like that line. So let's go get Steam Vents. So you can have green and then blue-red. And then we'll just evoke the Foundation Breaker this turn. I wonder why they brought in Leyline. I don't know. Steam Vents. Evoke. Definitely blow up the Chalice. Alright, Chalice down. Now the thing about Chalice the Void is it's a hate piece that they're not allowed. They can't play additional copies that are in their hand because they always want a Chalice on 0, and the first Chalice counters additional Chalices on 0. So it is possible they could have another Chalice here, but I think it just works well with my curve. So what's this? This looks like Matter Shaper, Eldrazi Obligator. Okay. I will happily take 3. We'll play Season Pyromancer next turn. Probably discard Pyromancer Wave Sifter, keeping the Garden for the Violent Outburst the turn after. I guess I could just go for 4 permanents, but 4 is kind of low. The odds of going off on 4 permanents is incredibly low, so I think I'm just going to play Pyromancer. I think it's worth it. And I guess now I can just discard Omnath Pyromancer. No, I guess Omnath is better if I draw a land that casts it. That's kind of what I was looking for, because I was worried about them having Thought-Knots here, and now we have Thought-Knots here covered. Because they would have played Chalice last turn if they had it, so they definitely don't have Chalice. They obviously could draw Chalice, but... Alright, opponent. What you got? What you got, opponent? Alright, you may proceed. Please don't draw Chalice. Hopefully they just go land Thought-Knots here, because that we don't particularly care about. And then we get to spin the wheel again, hopefully. Okay. That looks like Thought-Knots here. Chosen creature type is God. Heliod, Perforos. I don't know. We're casting a God. Hazoret. Okay. I think I can beat Hazoret. I will take 8 damage. I accept. No Chalice, no Chalice. Good, they didn't have Chalice. Alright, let's go. Shardless Agent time. Oh, I guess... Does this target? No, it's each opponent, so this doesn't even target. I'll pay 2 life. Because I can just go again. So resolve. Always put the Chancellor trigger on the stack last, because you want to make all of your things before the Chancellor trigger. Like if you have additional gardens and pyromancers and stuff like that. Treasure. Just gonna make mana. Because I'm just gonna go again with the Dark Dwellers. I can Dark Dwellers and Omnath, I think. I should be able to. I think I have enough mana. I mean, they should just be pretty close to lethal already. Alright, treasure. Do that. Do this. Yes. Auto yield. Yeah, because we can just glimpse again. So let's just do that. 3, 4. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna fetch first. Get the clue off of this, and I want to float mana. The clue. I said clue. I meant treasure. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goblin Dark Dwellers. Now we're definitely doing this for content. It's possible I just had lethal. No, I didn't quite have lethal, but this is content, so. No. No. Triggers. Okay. Chancellor on the stack last. This. Target this. Garden. Omnath. Pyro, Pyro, Pyro. This should be definitely lethal. And by should be, I mean it has to be lethal. Oh, these don't have anything to target. It's weird that they make you put the Dark Dweller triggers in the stack even though they have nothing to target. Alright, yeah, this is the annoying part of this deck, is just putting all these triggers in the stack. Alright, you can't auto-yield to them, though, so... Auto-yielding is your best friend. But this should just be lethal by making a bunch of Chancellor tokens and then giving them all +1/+0. Treasure. Treasure, treasure, treasure. I could go again for content, but I'm worried that I'm going to break Moto. When you know, like when you have the ability to keep going through your combo and your only reason for not going through your combo is I might break Magic Online, you know, that's when you know something's up. I'm keeping the outburst just because it's more damage, and I know I just have lethal with the Chancellor trigger. So we're gonna resolve all these, make I don't want to count 40 tokens. It's less than 40, but we're gonna give them all +1/+0, and they already have haste, so. Alright, cast Outburst. I'm gonna choose to not cast Glimpse of Tomorrow so I can just kill my opponent. Alright, they've had enough. So yeah, that was our opponent kind of didn't have a ton of meaningful interaction. They had a Thought Not Seer game 1 and then a Chalice game 2, but you need a lot of specific hate to kind of fight through this because the Cascade decks, they all play between 8 to 10, sometimes 12 copies of Cascade cards, so they're all super consistent or super redundant, I should say. Anyways, enough rambling. Hope you enjoyed those sweet games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. Alrighty, YouTube, back here for round number 2. We have elected to play. So this hand kind of has everything but the Cascade spell. We could suspend Glimpse on turn 2. I think I'm willing to keep this hand. This hand is only missing the Cascade spell, basically. We get a little beatdown action with the Chancellor. Battle. I'm just going to fetch tap lands here. I'm going to get red sources because this is double red to suspend. We definitely could just suspend here. Well, I'm going to suspend. Am I? No, I'm going to play Wave Sifter on turn 2, I think, because it's highest upside. I guess maybe it depends on what they're playing, but... Zagoth Triome, okay. Let's get Steam Vents. Yeah, Steam Vents. Because I want to leave myself the option of suspending, but... That's really awkward. Because now we only have one left in our deck. Alright, I'm just gonna play Wave Sifter. Just go for high upside. I'm gonna get Stomping Ground. Because I do still want double red. And I have white mana with the gemstone mine if I draw Ardent Plea, so. But we do kind of need to find a Cascade spell. Depending on what we're playing against, we can suspend Glimpse, but if they're playing counter magic, then, you know, they'll see it coming. They'll definitely be able to hold up counter magic on the Glimpse turn. Rune Tomb. What do we got? Finale. Okay, so they're playing the food deck. So looks like Sultai food. Got it. Yep. So they're gonna get a cookbook. They're gonna ship it back. Cascade spell? No such luck. Well, this is all I can really do right now. Now we can't attack. I guess I could have sacked Clue there. The problem with sacking Clue is if I sack Clue, I then can't suspend the Glimpse, which means I'm a turn farther away from it. So I think it is much more beneficial for me to just suspend Glimpse on that turn, and then I can start sacking Clues next turn. I feel like they maybe should have attacked there. I wasn't going to block. I just want more permanents in play. Misty Rainforest. Okay, so now I can go sack Clue if I brick, then suspend. What am I really looking to hit off of the Clue, though? I guess a Wave Sifter? It's like the only thing. Because once I've decided I'm sacking the Clue, then I can't play a Cascade spell anyways, so maybe I should just suspend and pass. I think I'm going to do that. So we got 1 on 2, 1 on 3. The nice thing about this matchup is their deck doesn't present a ton of pressure. Like it's really hard for their deck to present a fast clock. So you do generally have a lot of time. Yeah, I'm not blocking. I just want max permanence in play for this for the Glimpse of Tomorrow. I'm going to keep calling it Warp World throughout this video. Cauldron Familiar, okay. The question is, do I even want to sacrifice a Clue? So if I sack a Clue and find a Cascade spell, I'll be able to do it for 5, 6, 7. 7's probably good enough, right? Yeah, okay, I'll sack a Clue. I think that's fine. How about an Omnath? That's not bad. Blue, red, green, white. I'll take that. That is not bad at all. They might have like a Rebuke here. Okay. Oh, so this is going to kill the Omnath with a trigger on the stack. I could have played my fetch land first to prevent that, but I kind of wanted to leave myself the option of having mana. They also hadn't shown me the Daredevil yet, so I didn't know they had it. I'm going to play Gemstone Caverns because I'm going to end up casting the Glimpse on upkeep. They're likely what's going to happen is they're just going to kill my Goblin, attack for 4, and then they're gonna let me Glimpse for 6, and I'm going to have to hope that's good enough. The awkward part about glimpsing on upkeep is I don't get the float mana, so I have to go right to my main phase, which is super awkward. Yeah. Because normally when you're glimpsing, you get to like float the extra mana off of Omnath and use that to keep going, but in this particular case, that's not going to happen because it's in our upkeep, so we're not going to be able to utilize that extra mana. But we will still glimpse for 7. We have some okay cards in our hand. We gotta hope that's good enough. Or excuse me, glimpse for 6, not 7. I can't do math. Alright, here we go. Drum roll, please. No sense in floating mana because I'm in my upkeep. Oh, I guess floating mana would be good in case I hit, like... What is this? Do they have... No, they can't rebuke me again. Alright, I'll pay. I will, in fact, pay. Okay. Okay, that kind of does it, right? Because we get to go again, and we get to put more stuff into play. Again, no reason to float mana here. The so treasure, treasure. The reason would be to get an additional permanent, so we might as well do that. So let's go fetch, tap Steam Vents, get an additional permanent to go again. 2 more additional permanents. And we'll let this resolve. I'm not going to float mana because, again, we're in our upkeep, so floating mana doesn't accomplish too much. Okay, this should be pretty good. Draw some cards. Again, resolve the Chancellor trigger last to get the most amount of tokens. We'll discard. I'm not really close to casting this other Chancellor, right? So discard Chancellor and Gemstone Mine. Okay, so I got some clues. Now what? I guess we have another Glimpse coming off next turn, so that should be good enough. So we just need to survive. Which means I kind of just don't want to take any damage, because if they draw like Witch's Oven, then, you know, maybe they'll be able to do some stuff with that. So I'm honestly just going to play Colony Garden and Pass. I know it looks weird, but I mean, I guess I'll attack my goblins, because I have enough blockers back anyways. Opponent said maybe I'll get lucky and the client will crash. Yeah. Definitely could happen. We may or may not be filing for reimbursement this league if that happens. Okay, well they're off it. They they didn't want to see if the client would crash. I appreciate it. The client to be fair, the client probably would have crashed if I cast another glimpse, so you know. Okay, so this matchup's weird. Because they have counter magic and Thoughtseize usually. I don't think they have any particular hate pieces. The only hate piece that they sometimes play would be Void Mirror, because they can't Chalice on 0 because it stops their own Asmos. So I don't really think I need Foundation Breaker. I'm just deciding between Dispute and Leyline if I want both, or if I want like a couple Disputes, a couple Leylines, or if I just want only Leylines, only Disputes. I'm trying to think on the draw. What am I more scared of, Counter Magic or Discard? Honestly, probably Counter Magic. I think so. They usually don't play that many Thoughtseizes. So I think I'm just going to do the same thing I did last time and just kind of like shave on the all-in combo stuff. And just play 4 Disputes. Alright. I'm just going to try and fight over Counter Magic. I don't know if that's right. Well, maybe we'll see how they sideboard it, if they have any different sideboard cards. I could see bringing in Leyline, depending on, yeah, again, how many Thoughtseizes they have. I know the Dimir versions usually only play about 2 Thoughtseizes. But they're playing Sultai, they're playing a slightly different version, so maybe they potentially have more discard spells. Well, I got 2 lands, 2 Cascaders, and a Wave Sifter. Seems fine to me. Seems fine to me. This hand good against Thoughtseize, bad against Counter Magic. I guess it's okay against Counter Magic because we have 2 things, but... Alright, the Goose is loose. Colony Garden would be a good draw. Yeah. Foothills, I guess I'll accept. Thoughtseize. So at that point, they probably just take Wave Sifter, because they have 2 Cascade spells, unless they have a second discard spell. Or Counter Magic, so maybe their plan is to like take one of these and dispute or rebuke the other one. They did choose to take Outburst. So they have to have another piece of interaction for the other one, or else I think they would maybe want to take Wave Sifter there. I'm not sure. I could see arguments for either one. Okay. Saga. I don't believe there's a thing they can get off Saga that stops that stops our combo. So What's this? Another goose. Okay. I'm gonna get steam bends in case I draw. I'll always want to, like, your first two lands you want to be red just in case you draw glimpse. So you want to make sure you have two red sources. Even though if I drew glimpse here, I would still just play wave sifter. So now I'll get stomping ground, I think. I think I'm more likely to want. I guess I could get a white source here. Oh, let's just get stomping ground. Alright, Wave Sifta. I think I'm going to go for it. I don't think I'm going to play around counter magic if they just leave up mana. Because the thing about counter magic is if they have a counter spell, well, they have to sack the food for blue, and then they tap, and then they can't make a saga token. So it does alleviate some of the pressure off of us. Maybe I should just play Provisioner now. And I could just try and play around their counter magic. They're on 3 cards. Like, I'm trying to think of worst case scenario if I just play Provisioner. Because their counter magic is usually soft counter magic, which means if we just get the 6 mana, we can play Shardless and pay for a Rebuke. So that's why I'm considering playing the Tireless Provisioner. I actually kind of like it. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to get a Forest. I'm going to get a Forest and play Z Provisioner. Like, we can just take a hit from the construct. Their constructs aren't that big, right? They make one here, make another one, get a book. That's 4 or 5, I guess. I guess now we're kind of in a spot where we're probably going to have to go for it this turn anyways. So maybe it's just worse to do to Provisioner there. Okay, so they got Crypt, which stops Dark Dwellers. Makes sense. Ooh, they may have found counter magic. Well, they may have had it last turn, but let's see what they got. They got a cookbook. Okay. A Misty. What's this? Op Monitor. Let's hope they don't find counter magic. Because we do kind of have to go for it this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we have a fetch line, so this is how we can play around Rebuke. I'm not going to play Provisioner first. Because, so let's say they dispute it, right? They rebuke it, excuse me. They rebuke this, play this, treasure, fetch, treasure, 3 mana. If it resolves, fetch 2 treasures, crack fetch, 4 treasures, 5 mana. This is down to 2, so I can't actually play Shardless and pay for rebuke. So that's why I'm doing it this way. This way I can actually play around rebuke. Treasure. I think I'm going to float red. They're probably going to rebuke me if they have it, just so they can force me to bin the treasures and it's less permanence. So if they have rebuke, they're certainly going to cast it. Which makes sense. I think I'll tap this, blue, this. Okay. I will pay. Yes. Alright, let's do the dance. Do the dance. This is why we waited a turn. Although they didn't have it last turn, so maybe I got punished for waiting. Okay. I'm at 8. How do I get out of this? And I've already played my land for the turn. They have 1 card. So if I pay 2 life, I go to 6. I can fetch shock to 3 for a white source. No, I still can't cast Omnath, right? I'd have to fetch, but then I go to 2, and then I'm just dead to the Thought Monitor, so I can't do that. So I guess I just put this into play tapped. What if I Provisioner? So I can go Shock, 6, tap the 3 non-fetch lands, play Provisioner, fetch for Island, get a treasure. I'm at 5. No, because then I already have Forest Island in play, then I have to fetch Shock and go to 2, still dead to the Thought Monitor. I was trying to see if I could play Provisioner and Omnath this turn, but that involves me dying to Thought Monitor, so I can't do that. So, I think it is probably best for me to just Shock, play Provisioner, and leave up the fetches. So I'll do that. I'll leave up one of the fetches, because I always forget this, but it's so weird when Colony Garden comes into play off of the thing. It shows it coming into play untapped, so it always messes with my head. All right, go. And we have blockers for the constructs. We do need to find another glimpse. Well, Cascade spell, not another glimpse. I don't want to draw a glimpse. I actively do not want to draw a glimpse. All right, block. Go to 3. I think I'm gonna fetch here. Okay. So I can go. Just trying to think if I want to Colony Garden first. Yeah, so let's Colony Garden first. Get a treasure. And then we can go cast Omnath off of red, green, blue, white. We're not going to be able to get the second Omnath trigger, but we're going to be able to get the gain life. Wave Sifter. So I can't fetch Shock here. I have to fetch a tap land. Which means I think I'm just passing. I don't plan on chump blocking with Provisioner, so I think attacking is okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a scenario where I need to. Alright, they're going to fetch. Make some food. Make some food. Alright, they got 2 cards. We need to find some Gasolina. Alright, so I'm going to go chump block. And I have to fetch before damage, because if I let damage happen, I go to 1 and then I can't fetch. So I got to fetch before damage. Get probably a white source. I think red source is more important. We get the white mana off of the treasures. Okay, I go to 6, block, go to 4. Need to find a Cascade spell. Cascade spell, please. One time? Ooh, that is not what we're looking for. So I can go evoke, sack clue, hope to spike. I guess I could just hardcast, and then go chump, go to 2. I don't like that as much though. I think that's a line that's like one of those things that it's playing to not lose the game, but it's not playing to win the game. That's why I don't like doing that. Alright, I guess we gotta draw a step. So let's go gain, make a treasure, and I can sack the other clue. There's no reason to sack the other clue now, though, because I can't play anything off of it, because I only have 2 mana left over, so I'll just pass. I can also just hardcast Chancellor, I guess. Not that Chancellor is very good on this board. They're going to make some food. Games with this deck are apparently pretty long. I did not expect them to be that long. This is only game 2. Alright. So they're going to attack. I have to block with Provisioner. I'm going to sack the clue before I decide what I want to block with. It's likely just going to be Provisioner Plant, but maybe there's a world I block with Omnath. Nope. Alright, so go to 6. They have 3 cards. 2 cards. Cascade spell? I said I don't want to draw it. Okay. So play this. So this is 3 red, which means I need 5 red total to play this and suspend this. So I have to fetch here, which makes it awkward because now, well, I guess they're going to be lethal anyways, but so I need the 4th red mana. So 4, 5, 6, 7, play Chancellor. I get 2 tokens. I do get 2 chump blockers though, which is nice. This is what we call hard mode. Literally hard mode. And suspend this. There is a world where suspending that does get me out of this, hypothetically. It's not going to be easy, but... This game is so wild. This deck is just wild. Alright, your move. We have to go chump chump. Wonder if they kept in Shadow Spear. I feel like they probably did, because I have a lot of chump blockers. We are dead to that card. They're holding back the Thought Monitor. Huh. Interesting. I feel like that's a free attack. I can't really attack them. Does this thing have reach that I don't know about? No. Surprise reach. So we need some blockers. Or just a Cascade spell. Yeah, there we go. Am I going to float all my mana? I do have a glimpse in my deck, right? Okay, I do. Yeah, I'm going to float my mana, because if this doesn't work, I'm just dead anyways, so it doesn't matter. Alright, float the mana. Please do not have Aether Gust. I feel like they do, but... Looks like they do. Alright, bottom. So I can block with these 2 and hope to draw another Cascade spell. That was the worry about tapping out, but... Alright, so we're dead to any removal spell now. Okay, that's a food. Dead to Asmo, dead to Shadow Spear, dead to Gust. Dead to... Yep, dead to that. Okay. We are dead. Dead. Alright, game number 3. Okay, so they decided to board in the Tormod's Crypt, which kind of makes sense, but I wonder if that means I want less Goblin Dark Dwellers. They have Rebuke and Gust, so I probably think I need these disputes more than the ley lines. I'm just trying to think if there's any of this stuff that I want, like, because I can probably beat them with the fair plan, right? Maybe just cut another Dark Dwellers, because it's so bad against Crypt. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I think we can just, like, kind of easily beat them with our fair plan. I think. I'm not sure. Feels weird boarding out 3 of these, though. I don't know. More Wave Sifters, maybe? Hmm. I'm not sure. We'll do it like this. Alright, play first. This hand is... Ugh, 2 gemstone mines. 2 gemstone mines. I think the stand's still a keep, though. I'm not in love with it, but... Alright, opponent tanked. Kept 7. I got a Chancellor. Let's go. Let's go. Attack you for 1. What's up? Botanical Sanctum. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of baubles. Emre. The question is, are we suspending Glimpse on turn 2? Maybe. Using gemstone mine counters to suspend glimpses, a not great proposition. I think I'm just gonna chill for a little bit. I'm just gonna chill. Kind of feels bad not suspending there, but I really don't want to use 2 gemstone mine counters just to suspend. I don't think that's worth it. Like, I think if I drew a non like just any other land that produced red mana, I would be okay with suspending it, but burning 2 counters to suspend it kind of sucks. I mean, if they tap out, I'm going for it. Well, I guess I need to draw a land, but... Casting Asmore? Or Finale for Asmore? Sure. Alright, we need a land. We need a land. Please. Untap land, not Colony Garden. Please no Colony Garden. Not like this. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I said Colony Garden, I knew that was going to happen. Rats. Okay. You can go. I think I'm still not suspending it. Well, this is going to be tough now. I mean, I guess if we draw an untapped land, we can Cascade with Dispute up, so it's not too bad. Let's see what they got. Alright, Bobble. Uh-huh. Okay. I accept. I accept. No blocks. Can we find an untapped land, please? That's all I ask. We cannot. I mean, I still think I'm going to go for it. I'm kind of in a spot where I think I have to go for it. They clearly have something, but, you know, it is what it is. Because I can just go again next turn. They gust, I'll bottom it. And then if we find an untapped land, we can go for it with Dispute up. But now they might be able to pay, which sucks. No. Okay. Sure. Attack you for 1. Alright, so now we need an untapped land. Although if they have another rebuke, they can just rebuke and pay for dispute, so. And they know about the dispute too. They bobbled it. What do they got? Alright, take 3. Guess I could have left back the goblin to threaten a double block. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. We're gonna play another cookbook. I guess they just want more food. That leads me to believe maybe they don't have another piece of interaction. If they really wanted the food this badly. I mean, even if I don't draw a land, I kind of have to go for it, I think. But now, if we draw land, we can play a Cascade spell and hold up Dispute. So we're re-rolling to untap land badly. Oh. Okay, then. And they already played their land, right? Well, we're good to go, then. I didn't expect this to happen. I mean, they can kill one of my things to give me one less permanent, but... Alright, let's go. See what we got. Spin the wheel. The wheel. Okay, they killed the token in response. We get 5 permanents. I was going to say we'd be able to go again, but we can't because we drew the other glimpse. Man. Okay. Drew the last glimpse. That is unfortunate. Alright, well, I guess I'll get a mountain and play Provisioner. I don't think we're going to be able to win this game now, just because we have all of our Cascade spells don't do anything, because we only have 3 glimpses in our deck. Drawing the last glimpse is really unfortunate. I guess we can try and hardcast Chancellor with Provisioner, but I don't know if that's going to be a realistic plan at this point. Cookbook. We have 4 food to kill 2 things. Yeah, we just don't have that kind of time. Okay. Yeah, really unfortunate that we drew the 3rd glimpse, but, you know, it is what it is. Such is life. Hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, YouTube, we're back here for round number 3. It's glimpse time. We have a 1-lander. I'm not going to keep this. Unfortunate. 3-lander with no Cascade spell, but we have Colony Garden, Opening Hand Chancellor, and Tireless Prisoner. I think I'm going to keep and put back... Maybe I put back the Dark Dwellers and just suspend this on turn 2. But that's a lot worse because I'm not playing Garden in the first 3 turns. So if I, like, best case scenario, I draw a Cascade spell. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put back the Glimpse. Just try and high roll the Cascade spell on turn 3. I think that's best case scenario. Like, imagine a world where I put back Dark Dwellers. I have to go Steam Vents on 1, Red Source on 2 to suspend the Glimpse. Then if I draw I guess what I could do is play Vents on 1, give myself 1 draw step. Then if I draw the Cascade spell, just play the Garden on 2, which maybe is better. I'm going to play Vents tapped here in case they're playing Burn, which they might be. Alright, pass the turn. See what they got. Looks like Burn. They have Eidolon. Ooh, not Burn. A discard spell, perhaps? No, red. Is this Dredge? Dredge has got to be a good matchup, right? Not seen Dredge in a while. Okay. So, Dome me for 3 no creatures. I like that. Cascade spell? Nope. I'm going to play Pyromancer here just to try and find the Cascade spell. I don't have red-white, so the only red source I can get is Stomping Ground, so I'll do that. I'm going to discard Chancellor Dark Dwellers. Just keep these because they're easier to cast. I think that makes sense. No Cascade spell. Awkward. We're at 14. We need to find the Cascade spell, please. Alright, they dredge. Are they just a Dark Blast? Yeah. They found an Ox, which they can Ox. Or I guess they could just conflagrate my board. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They probably have to do that, actually. That's probably a requirement here. Conflagrate my board and do the Ox next turn. Because if they Ox, they can't kill any of my permanents, and then if I draw a Cascade spell, they're likely dead. Whereas if they conflagrate and I draw a Cascade spell, I might not have enough. So yeah, they should probably just conflagrate here. They're fetching now. Wonder why they're fetching now. Looks like a conflagrate. Oh wow, they're oxing? Wow, I'm very surprised at that. Maybe they just don't know what we're playing. Alright, they're gonna Narc Amoeba and a pile of amalgams. Okay, okay. Well, we're not taking any damage this turn, so even if we brick, we can maybe still win this game. Alright. Note if you're playing Dredge Online, always yield to your amalgam triggers. It makes it a lot easier. Colony Garden. So I think what gives me the best chance at finding Cascade spell is to just evoke Wave Sifter and then pass. Well, play Tarn and pass, and then I can go Crack a Clue, end step. And I get 2 looks at a Cascade spell. Yeah. Alternatively, I could Provisioner this, tap land, evoke. No, that's worse. Okay. Yeah, I think that's worse. So we'll evoke this. I do have to fetch an untapped land so I can sack a clue, though. Alright. And they can conflagrate. They don't have a loam yet, do they? They also don't have green mana. They can't even cast loam. So the most they can conflagrate it for is 4. So they can kill 4 blockers. Oh, it might just be dead, right? They just kill 4 blockers. I block here and take 3, 6, 9, 10, 14. Yeah, so. Oh. They are not choosing to conflagrate us yet, which is interesting. I don't really know why. Go to 8. I could not block. No, I want to go. I want to go to 8. Okay. They're allowing us to survive. It looks like. I'll take it. It's good for us. I'm not gonna complain. Now they conflagrate us for 4. This has been a weird game. Another Ox. Do they have 3 chills left? I think they only have 2 chills, right? Actually, they only have 1 chill left. 1, 2. There's one. I think they discarded 1, 3. And they only have 1 chill left. All right, get basic, crack clue, and we get 2 looks at a Cascade spell. There it is. Okay, so Colony Garden. I'm gonna float red, I think. Yeah, let's float red. See what we got. Drum roll, please. Okay, we get to go again. Yeah, that should be good enough. Am I paying life? No, I don't think I'm paying life. So we get to go Dark Dweller trigger last, Chancellor trigger, and then resolve Pyromancer. So we make 2 tokens. I'm just gonna discard these 2 cards. I just want max hits. And then we make 5 tokens, and then we go again. Gonna fetch a mountain and float a red. All right, let's go again. This one should be lethal. Yeah, I think that's lethal. Yeah, that's definitely lethal. Okay. Chancellor, Garden. Draw a card. We get a whole mess of Omnath triggers. Do. All right, I will auto yield to that. So the nice thing about Omnath is if you put multiple Omnaths into play off of Glimpse, you get the landfall triggers for each one. So we get to we get to make 8 men off the Omnath, gain 8 life, and deal them 8. Is that right? Did I do that right? No, maybe I did that wrong. Am I misunderstanding how that works? Because shouldn't we have more mana? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're super dead. All right. Anyways, maybe I'm misunderstanding how that works. I thought I would have more mana though. Dredge, huh? So they probably have a bunch of discard spells. I'll just bring in ley lines. Just kind of shave on this stuff. I could shave a Dark Dwellers instead. They might bring in Leyline of the Void because they saw the Dark Dwellers. I'm not sure. Pyromancer's kind of slow. I'll just keep in the Chancellor. Try this. Alright, we're back here for game number 2 against Dredge. 2 Omnaths, no Cascade spell. I'm going to ship this. Okay. Should I keep this for science? Alright, science. I don't know if this hand's good, but it's funny, so we're just going to keep it for content. We're going to keep it for the content. I mean, turn 1, 3/1/1 haste is pretty good. Just saying. Just going to throw that out there. I probably should have mulliganed this hand, but I'm just keeping it for content. If that wasn't abundantly clear. I was worried that they were going to have turn 1 Conflagrate, turn 2 just kill all my stuff. That would not have been good. Red, white, thrilling discovery. Okay. I hope they don't. Oh, I kept a hand without a dredger. That's very good for us. Alright, Cascade spell? Not quite. Not quite. So we'll get a Steam Vents here. And then I can get Basic Mountain off of this in case I draw Pyromancer. Or Hallowed Fountain. If I don't draw Pyromancer, then this will just get Hallowed Fountain, but... Deafening Silence. Okay. We can beat that, though. Shardless Agent just beats that. Like, we get to cast a Glimpse, and as long as we have a good enough battlefield, 1 Glimpse might be good enough. But it shuts off Violent Outburst. Red, red. They probably should have cast their draw spell first, because now they can't cast it because they played the silence. So they might have missequenced that. Alright, Steam Vents. Shardless? No. Alright, I'm going to get white mana with this so we can play Omnath next turn. Just beating down with our 1/1s. Magic as Garfield intended, ladies and gentlemen. Cycle Forgotten Cave. Okay. They're on 13. They likely have a draw spell here that they were trying to cast last turn. Still don't have a Dredger, which is good for me. Are we just going to beat them with Goblins and Omnaths? Perhaps. Alright, white source. No. So, blue, white, red, green? Yep. Green, blue, red, white. Nom 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 nath. Wave Sifter, hardcast mode. Actually, I drew a fetch land that's a red source, so I can just hardcast Chancellor next turn. That's awesome. Yep, we're just gonna hardcast Chancellor, and it's gonna be great. Another Cycle Forgotten Cave. Lightning Axe. Okay, that's rude. Rude. I wanted that Omnath. Discard Dark Blast. Okay. And they did not mill over Ox. Probably have another draw spell. Because they do have 8 of them. Now they have some dredgers, though, so they can actually do stuff. Maybe. Alright, Amoeba, 2 Amalgams. There's the Ox. They haven't played a land yet either, so they can Ox me. Okay. Well, now we also can't hardcast the Chancellor now. Okay, now we might be in a bad spot. So we need Shardless? Yeah, we need Shardless. Shardless, please. That's not a Shardless. Do I want to hardcast, or do I want to evoke and sack a clue? Not sure. Do I think hardcast is going to beat their Ox next turn? I assume no. Alright, let's just evoke. Like, I could hardcast it to get a 3/2 flyer, but I don't think that's going to beat the Ox that they're doing next turn. So, we'll just pass. Again, Shardless Agent should let us beat Deafening Silence, but... Again, we have to actually draw the Shardless Agent. We get 3 looks at it, because I can go end step, crack a clue, untap, crack a clue. Yeah, so I get 3 looks at it. This is 10 damage. They do not have a Conflagrate in their graveyard. So worst case scenario, they haven't flipped over any chills yet either. Maybe I should block one of them. 3, 6, 7, go to 11. And they would have to hit all 4 chills to kill me. Or I could block 2, go to 14. I mean, blocking 2 is definitely safest. It's 1 less permanent if I do find the Shardless, though. If they flip over 4 chills, they flip over 4 chills. Sometimes they frequently board out a chill anyways, so... Again, playing to win the game, playing not to not lose the game. One of those situations. And this is when they flip over 4 chills, and I look like a fool. Caught on 4K. They didn't discard a chill. Okay, I'm kind of assuming they boarded out all of their chills because they went through 52 cards and have yet to find one. So, kind of think they just don't have any. Just kind of weird to board out all of them. I could definitely see trimming one or two copies. I don't know that I'd bring all of them out, though. Shardless? Shardless. Shardless. Shardless, please. Hey, what's this? Oh, yeah, they... Okay, right. No! Shardless. Shardless. Crap. Can play a chump blocker. Well, a blocker. So I have 4 blockers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I go to 4. Not dead. Okay, your move. Wait, they didn't flip over Conflagrate, did they? No. Huh. So they've gone through 52 cards and haven't seen a Conflagrate or a Chill. There's no way they boarded up all their Conflagrates. Chills too. They're choosing not to dredge. Huh. Okay. I mean, if they get too aggressive, can we kill them? I mean, they can Ox the rest of their deck. That's a free block. 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12. So this has us taking 9. 6, 7. The issue is they just Ox, block a Goblin, and the Outburst is only 7 damage. Right, because they can't block the Dark Dwellers. It has Menace. Assuming they don't hit the Narcomoeba, which I don't think they've gone through the 4th one yet. Okay. So if I block like this, I take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, go to 1. And then I cast Outburst. They block a Goblin, and they take 4, 5, 6, 7, they go to 1. But I think this is my only way out. Just going to 1. I don't think this is going to be good enough, but... Like, if I could envision myself winning this game, it would be with this block. Maybe they randomly take a damage for some reason. Or they just have 4 chills in the bottom 7 cards of their deck and nothing I did mattered, but... Which is a possibility. I'm not ruling that out, but... Again, if that's the case, there's nothing they could have done about that. Okay. Well, they just drew 3 cards. Do I have any outs to win? I don't know. I don't think so. Does that get me anywhere? I don't think so. 6, 7. Maybe they just don't block. There's no way, right? There's no way they don't block. Alright, play an Omnath. Shardless. Alright, I'm just gonna attack. See if they block. Legal blocking. It has Menace. Still has Menace. Yep, still has Menace. And still has Menace. They blocked. Alright, well, we tried. 4, 5, 6, 7. Man, so close. Alright, game 3. Game 3. Deafening silence, huh? Alright. We saw their whole deck, and I don't remember seeing Thoughtseize, so I'm just going to cut these for breakers. I don't believe we saw Thoughtseize, so let's do this. Even though Deafening Silence is not that like it doesn't stop you inherently from comboing off because again, you can still go through shardless. It is still annoying enough that I think it's worth bringing in Breaker, and we saw their entire deck and didn't see Thoughtseize. So, game 3. Well, gonna hope they don't have a silence because the sand's really good. You have to go turn 1 Garden. Well, they kept 7, so good chance they do have silence. Not good for the home team. Not good for the home team. Maybe we'll draw Shardless. Oh, they didn't play it on turn 1, and we drew the Shardless. I like that. I'm gonna play Steam Vents here in case, for some reason, they like, I don't know, stop me from comboing off and I draw Pyromancer. You never know. Beatdowns. Show 'em who's boss. Sometimes you just gotta show 'em who's boss. Alright, I hope they just cast Cathartic Reunion. I can beat Cathartic Reunion. Thrilling Discovery, I can also beat that. You got it. In. Looks like we're gonna spin some wheels. They milled over 2 Deafening Silences. Nice. They got some power. They got 2 Narcomoebas, 2 Amalgams. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, but we'll see. Given that they've milled over 2 Silences, normally I would... Maybe it's still right to play Outburst first. It's kind of close, because I would consider playing Outburst first to play around an additional Silence, but at the same time, I kind of want to play Shardless so that if I re-up, I get an additional permanent in play, and it's very likely they're just going to be dredging the rest of the game anyways, and they've already milled over 2 Silences, so I'm just going to play Shardless. Spins a wheel. Let's go, let's go, let's go. The wheel has been spun. What do we got? Drum roll, please. Dark Dweller's Foundation Breaker. Well, we get to go again, so could be worse. I'm going to float mana, so that way even if we brick off of this one, we get to go again. So blue, red, green, float mana, let this happen. Do this. Okay, this should be good. Yeah, because now we get to go, yeah, this is more than enough. Because we just have the Outburst too, to let us re-up. Should be enough. Unless we draw the last glimpse off of the Pyromancer. I guess I should play around that and just cast the Outburst now and not get greedy. No, I'm greedy. I shouldn't be greedy, but... Okay, now I'll cast it. I just wanted 2 additional tokens. Now that I can't get any tokens off of this one, I'll just cast it. It's fine. I don't want to get super greedy. I mean, I do, but I also don't. Okay. Yeah, I'll pay 2 life. Yeah, I'll pay 2 life. I just want more mana. Now it shouldn't matter. Alright, good, good, good. Always heal to the Omnaths. We get some mana, draw some cards, dome them. Do. Alright, draw 2. Draw a card off the Omnath. Fetch so I can float some more mana. Get the mountain. Green, red, green, red. I'm just going to float a bunch of red in case we go off and draw Chancellor off of a Pyromancer or something like that. Oh, boy. I guess now I don't need to pay 2 life. No. Okay. Stack all these Chancellor triggers. And I think we should have lethal, right? Maybe not. treasure. We make 4, 8, 16, which is... So it's 4, then it's 8, then it's 16. So we make 28 tokens. No, that's lethal. Yeah, that should be lethal, right? I can't math. Alright, always yield to this. Because then we have the outburst to pump the tokens too. So yeah, this should be enough. And then we make 16. Yeah, this should be enough. So the tokens do have haste. It's going to be a long video. Alright. Oh, we get to also pump them off of the other outbursts, so... Yeah, this is more... Way more. I also forgot about the original outburst, which was still on the stack. So all the tokens get +2, +0. Deck 4, enough. Enough has been called. Alright. 2 and 1. This deck's pretty sweet. We got to do the thing, so I hope you enjoyed the games, and I will see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. Alrighty, YouTube. I can already tell this is going to be a long video. We're back here for round number 4. A lot of editing going to be involved in this one, hopefully. Well, I'm not going to keep a one-lander, so I'll go to 6. And, okay, Chancellor, Cascade spell. I think I'm going to put back the Dark Dwellers. Yeah, that makes sense. Then I'm going to lead on Misty, attack for 1. Hopefully we'll dodge a discard spell. They didn't reveal Luris, and the most common discard spell deck has been the Luris, Spike Rakdos kind of thing. This looks like food. Yep, food it is. I feel like food is a decent matchup, but let's get... I usually get Steam Vents first. Alright, I would like to draw a Wave Sifter. Another Shardless is not ideal. This might be one of those games where I just lead on Pyromancer. Excuse me. Just to generate more tokens. Because they don't usually have interaction, like Thoughtseize or Counter Magic Game 1, especially if they're Golgari. I guess they could be playing Sultai, but... No blocks. No blocks. Cookbook. They don't have a land. That's good for me. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Pyromancer here. We should have time. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to Pyromancer. I'm going to get another Mountain. I'm going to discard probably Chancellor Pyromancer, I think. And keep the backup Shardless in case they do have main deck Thoughtseize. Yeah. Alright, we are good now. And the best they can do is they can kill one thing next turn with Asmore, but that shouldn't really matter too much. They're also only on 1 land, so... Like, they get to kill one thing, and we still get the Glimpse for 7 permanents, which should be enough, usually. They have a Feasting Troll King, which should be pretty beatable, if I had to say so myself. So I'm going to play the land. I'm going to float red mana, I think. I guess maybe there's more consideration to float green, because green casts both Shardless and... Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh, I can't float green because I only have 1 green. Okay. Well, at that point, I think I'd rather just float red, right? Yeah, okay, I'll just float red. If I had a second green, floating green makes sense because green casts both of the Cascade spells, but... Choose an Omnath to keep. This looks like it's enough. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. Looks like it's enough. Always yield. Always yield. Always yield. Always yield. And we can even go Provisioner first, right? Crack Fetch, and then Glimpse. Get Forest. Always yield. Make a treasure. Crack this. I have enough life till I can just kind of play around with it a little bit. Treasure. Is Chancellor lethal? No, I guess Chancellor's just lethal, huh? That's the more boring thing to do, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attackers. Actually, it's not lethal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9, 12 attackers. Minus 2 is 10. I guess it is lethal. Whatever. I'm still going to cast Shardless. This is more fun. It's way more fun. Like, there's no way this isn't lethal. Sure, I'll pay 2 life. Okay. It's a lot of triggers. I think they're off it. I think they're off it. Once you put 30 triggers onto the stack, that's when your opponent's off it. Okay, cool. Alright, so just Golgari, because they did show us Troll King. That usually means Golgari. It's just Leyline because they don't have counter magic, so you don't need Dispute. And they usually don't have any sideboard artifact or enchantments because most of the artifact enchantments that are good against our deck are good against their deck too, so they wouldn't want to play their own copies. So just Leyline to protect against Thoughtseize. I'm just going to try doing this. One of each of those. Again, I think the sideboarding is just, you're kind of just trimming numbers when you want to bring in your good sideboard cards. Not a ton of, like, changing plans, and your deck's kind of always doing the same thing, for the most part. No Leyline, but I do have Wave Sifter and a Cascade spell, so I think I will keep it. Aldrin Familiar. Okie dokie. Let's lead on Stomping Ground. Drawing the second Dark Dwellers is super awkward because that means I'm pretty unlikely to hit it off of a thing. A glimpse, as it were. I'm gonna get Steam Vents in case I draw a glimpse and I want to suspend it. Alright, green, blue. So, glimpse for 5. Yeah, 5 is not a lot. I wonder if I play Provisioner first. We'll see what they do. I could definitely consider playing Provisioner first. Okay. I mean, especially given that they're not really doing much. They might be casting Thoughtseize here, but... Nope. And they don't have a Troll King either. I think I can probably afford to wait a turn. I guess worst case scenario, they draw Thoughtseize. So that's what we're looking to dodge. If I wait a turn, I get 3 more permanents, though, because I get the Provisioner. Actually, 4 more, because I get this, and the Garden, and the Plant, and the Treasure. Okay, I'm just going to play Provisioner. It's just super high upside. And again, they don't have a lot of pressure, so I think we should have a turn. It's obviously a disaster if they find Thoughtseize, but... we're so much more likely to win if we wait a turn, so... Urza Saga, that shouldn't matter. Trail of Crumbs, yeah, you see why this matchup is so good. Especially compared to the Sultai version, they just don't really... Like, the Sultai version has sort of the same sort of grindy elements, but they have way more meaningful interaction, like Aether Gust and Metallic Rebuke. And this deck is just like Thoughtseize and Prey, you know? Like, I'm a pretty big fan of the Golgari versions of food, but I think they're kind of been surpassed by blue-black, blue-red, and/or Sultai, just because the blue cards offers you a lot of versatile interaction against just cards in general, sideboard cards. I don't know. I've been a really really big fan of the blue cards. I think they offer you a lot of what Golgari was missing. So I guess blocking might allow them to randomly find a chalice if they had a chalice in their deck, but oh, I guess now they can also kill the provisioner. Yeah, blocking was bad. I should have just taken it because now they get to kill the provisioner. Yeah, that was bad. Why did I block? I don't know. I wasn't thinking. Because now they get to shoot the provisioner. Eh, you know, it is what it is. Let's look at the glimpse for 6. Ley line, nice draw. Or 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't math. All right, 7. Let's go. Spin the wheel. Okay. That doesn't really get us anywhere. Okay, no, I won't pay 2 life. So we get 2 treasures. And then if we draw any land, we can just Dark Dwellers next turn. Okay, all right. Pass. See if I punted this all away by blocking the cat. I'm just gonna have 6. Now they can't Thoughtseize us if they draw that, so that's good. Cycle Street Wraith. Cookbook. I also have no cards, so they can't do anything really with Asmo. And again, any land allows us to Goblin Dark Dwellers back the Glimpse, because even if it's a tap land, we get a thing. Yeah, okay, this should be good enough. Treasure. This should be good enough. This one might be a quicker round. Compared to all the last rounds that have been, 25, 30 minutes plus. It's kind of funny, like obviously this deck's pretty sweet and you can win games pretty quickly when you do your thing, but you can actually play some pretty long games, as evident of some of the games in this video, so. Goblin Dark Dwellers. I will target Glimpse of Tomorrow, and I will cast Glimpse of Tomorrow. X equals a lot. A lot. Chancellor, yeah, this is enough. Treasure. Oh, I messed up the order on those. I should have put the Dark Dwellers in the stack first, but they'd concede anyways. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of an easier match than the last couple of matches that we've had. So, again, I think this matchup is pretty good. Their interaction is just not. They don't have a lot of good interaction, and their clock is fairly slow. So, we're 3-1. I'll see you in just back in just a little bit for round number 5. Alrighty, YouTube. Let's close out this video with a dub. Round 5. What do we got? We have no Cascader, 2 Goblin Dark Dwellers, and no double red mana. I gotta ship that. Okay. So put back the second Dark Dwellers. Reveal Chancellor, get Steam Vents, hopefully draw a Garden or a Wave Sifter on turn 2, and then we can go for it on 3. Opponent mulligans to 6. Pretty sure this is better than almost any 5, so like even the Dark Dwellers being a blank in our hand, we still have Chancellor plus, stuff. Urza's mine. Is this Etron or Greentron? Hope it's not Etron, because Etron has Chalice. Alright, there's a land. Trying to think of what land I want to get. I don't think it matters too much. Well, we're going to have to go for 4 and hope that 4 is good enough. May not be. May not be. Alright, Stomping Ground. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Okay. So do it for 4. Let's see. Okay. Well, that's awkward. Your turn. I guess if we draw a land, we can go again, but we're probably just going to get Karned. They're going to blow up a land. Truly the darkest of timelines. Truly the darkest of timelines. Maybe they'll just play a Wormcoil Engine. Come on, play Wormcoil. Play a Wormcoil. Please play a Wormcoil? Like they're playing a Wormcoil. Okay, I can beat that. So they're Etron? Don't play a Chalice, don't play a Chalice, don't play a Chalice. Okay. Alright, land. Land. That's kind of like a land. That's kind of like a land. It's basically the same thing, right? If we're being honest. Smashy smash. Alright, go to 11, land. Okay, alright. We have outs. We have outs. They're not very good, but they involve definitely hitting Dark Dwellers. When you're on low permanence like this, Dark Dwellers is the best thing you can hit. Because it just allows you, it's just a free way to go again. Dark Dwellers, please. One time? They have a Dismember? Sure, whatever. Oh, they had Warping Wheel to counter it. I see. Okay, beats. You don't usually have Warping Wheel, I think. Yeah. So we can take 9 and go to 2, but then we shut off Shocklands. So I actually probably have to block here. Because I need to be able to get a blue source, and a lot of my blue sources are Shocklands. So we probably have to block and go to 4. Oh, we're just dead. We could draw Basic Island or a way to get Basic Island. Because we're going to go to 2. Okay, I'm going to 1. Get Island. What am I floating? I think I'm floating red. Right? Green. No, maybe it makes more sense to float green. Because green cast, outburst. Oh, but I only have one. This is my last Cascade spell anyway, so Cascades don't matter. So yeah, I'll float red. Alright, we definitely have to hit a Dark Dwellers here. Okay, alright, we tried. We tried. Game 2, off it. Alright, let's board in Foundation Breaker, Force of Vigor. And I believe that is it. I'm going to cut on this. I think Dark Dwellers is pretty important on low resources. You can just cut an Omnath, or maybe a Provisioner. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I think I like Dark Dwellers more than the other options in this matchup. Not really sure why, but... So it's a 1-laner, but we have Breaker and Cascade spell and Wave Sifter. Draw 2 lands this hand is obviously insane, but I'm going to ship it. Perfect mana. Okay. Alright, this hand plays. I think I have to put back... I think I actually have to put back land. and one of the Cascade spells. I think that gives me the best chance to win. And then if they have Chalice and I draw exactly green card plus land, I can go Force Your Chalice, untap land 3 Cascade after playing turn 2 Wave Sifter. So yeah, let's put back Caverns, Outburst, Steam Vents tapped. Because I do kind of want to draw a land here. Power plant. So they don't have Chalice. Okay, that's good. So we gotta get green. I'm gonna get Stomping Ground in case I... Right? Yeah, in case I find... in case I draw... I can't remember the name of the glimpse. So I might want to suspend the glimpse. Now if they play Chalice, I'm kind of in an awkward spot because my only green card is my only Cascade spell. They don't have Chalice. Oh, they have Warping Whale? Is that what this is? No, I didn't draw land anyways. I guess I could sack a Clue. I probably should be sacking a Clue here, right? Main phase in case I hit Colony Garden. Because I kind of need a land anyways. Yeah. There we go. That's the reason to do it main phase. Okay, now we're actually in an okay spot. They can Thought Not Sear me. And then we can just let it happen because we have 2 Cascade spells anyways. Mana Reshaper, I do not care about. Alright, let's go. Let's do the thing. Shardless. Green, blue, red. Alright, let's do the dance. Omnath, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so do this last. There we go. That's what we're trying to do. Alright, so draw a card, do that. Respond to the Dark Dweller's trigger so I can float mana. Red. Cast Glimpse. Yeah, I'll pay 2 life. I just want more mana. Always yield. Treasure, 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 treasure. Okay, discard, discard. So let that resolve. Play fetch land to get more treasures off of that. Just for more permanence, just to almost guarantee lethal at this point. I should just get a basic there, but... Treasure, treasure. Red. Cast Violent Outburst, floating that. Cascade. Alright, if this isn't lethal, I don't know what is. That's probably lethal. Choose an Omnath to keep. Keep this one. Alright, so we want to do this last, because the Chancellor has to be lethal at this point. I'm not going to end up casting this Glimpse, probably. It is really annoying to put these triggers on the stack, I will say. I wish there was a better way to do it online. But they are dead. Draw card, draw card. Do this, and then we'll do some tireless triggers. Alright, click, 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 click. A lot of editing with this video. A lot of editing. Alright, auto yield to the Omnath triggers. Treasure. I gotta click treasure for all of these. Okay. Treasure, 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 treasure. I think we have found enough treasures. I believe so. Alright, clues. Draw some cards off of that. No, I don't wish to use the ability. No, I don't want to cast that. Make a bunch of goblins, give them haste, and attack you. Alright. Game 3. Turn 4, by the way. Turn 4. Alright. So... anything change? Nope. Let's go. Let's go. Game 3. All the marbles. And by marbles, I mean all the treasures. So, opponent, did they keep 7? They mulligan to 6. This hand does not have an answer to a Chalice or a Cascade spell, so I think it's actually a mulligan? This hand's close because we can just go Chancellor on 0, Wave Sifter on 2, Pyromancer on 3. Like, this hand has a lot of permanents. I wonder if this hand's actually a keep. I'm going to try it. I think this hand's pretty risky because we're missing a Cascade spell and a Breaker. But, I don't know. This hand seems like it could be okay. Maybe you just can't keep a hand like this. Or at least a 7 like this, you know? London Mulligan is pretty powerful, so... I probably should be mulliganing this. I wonder if they're debating on keeping a hand without a Chalice. Or keeping a weak hand with a Chalice. Alright, they have the Chalice. Yeah. Okay. It's not great for me. Well, okay. So we can go turn 2 this, turn 3 Pyromancer, probably discard these two. Attack, play Wave Sifter. Make some clues. Next turn Pyromancer. They just have like Chalice plus Natty Tron. Okay, not Tron, thankfully. Matter Reshaper though? Oh, we're dead. That's it. Game's over. Go next. Let's play Mountain. Pyromancer, discard these two. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So we can get a Temple Garden with this. Okay. I mean, the second one's kind of a brick, but the first one's good. They have Thought-Knot Seer. Just in case I have the Force of Will. You never know. So now that I have 2 Omnaths, they'll probably just take Pyromancer if I had to guess. And now we just need to find a Breaker or a Force. Although, again, we might just be able to like beat them with the value plan. They took... Wait, what'd they take? They took the Dark Dwellers. Interesting. Huh. I mean, I'm okay with that. Let's get Temple Garden or Hallowed Fountain. Probably Temple Garden. Green, white, blue, red. Play Omnath. There's a Glimpse. Okay. That's Tron. Let's see what they have to do with Tron. They have an Allah's Dust. They do... I mean, we have a second Omnath, so I don't care too much about that. All things considered. Green, white, blue, red, Omnath. Unless they have Dismember. Okay, gain 4 life. Pass. We still have yet to find an answer to this Chalice. I mean, they have Tron, so they have a lot of scary draws. Even Reality Smasher's kind of tough. Okay. That's beatable. I assume they're taking Pyromancer. Because my hand sucks. That's why they would want to take Pyromancer. I do have some clues over here that I can pop. Yep, they took Pyromancer. It makes sense. They attack with Thought-Knot Seer. I'm probably going to block. Right? Just take the card. And then if I find a Breaker, I can go Breaker this, and yeah, I'm down a block. I don't have any lands for the thing anyways, so I think that block's good for me. Okay. Now what? I'm at 11. So we need to find an answer to the chalice. We need to find a breaker or a force. So maybe I just pop a clue main phase. And then if I brick, I just go provisioner, colony garden, make a treasure, and then pass. Yeah, and then let's leave up double red in case we draw another pyromancer. Let's do that. I like this. Oh, I guess I don't have blue up this way. But I don't need blue this turn because I don't plan on casting Wave Sifter. Like, if I miss, I'm just going to play Provisioner. So I think this is good. We drew a Shardless, not what we're looking for. Okay, Provisioner, Garden, make a treasure, pass. And I could chump block here, go to 8. Still kind of need them to brick. There's a lot of draws that are going to be tough for us. Karn, Smasher. Another Thought-Knot Seer is kind of whatever because we just have enough Cascade spells. Urza's Mine we can beat. There's the breaker. There's the breaker. I guess they could have a Warping Well as their last card, but... So I think I am going to Wave Sifter first because it's just an extra permanent. And even if they have the Warping Whale for the Shardless, I have the follow-up Outburst. And I still have 2 blockers. So I think this is good. I feel like their last card is Warping Whale, but yeah, it is. Alright, whatever. Whatever. Just go again next turn. We still have a Glimpse left, right? Yeah, we do. I could upkeep it. Yeah, and if they pop the Blast Zone on 3, they lose the Matter Reshaper. So even if they get to kill both of these, this dies. So they only have this to attack me with. But I guess they get a Matter Reshaper trigger, so if they hit exactly Smasher off of it, or they just drew Smasher for the turn, that'd be unfortunate. There's his tower. Okay, did they find Smasher? Found Karn. Karn can get, I guess, Trinisphere? Ugh, that sucks. So close. So close. Well, I guess we can still cast a Glimpse through a Trinisphere, and then just hope that we hit enough mana. Yeah, actually, Trinisphere we can maybe beat. I don't know what else they could get. They got Ballista. Okay, we're not dead to that, though. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's only 7 damage. So they put us to 1. Or they can put us to 4 with a 3/3 Ballista in play. Yeah, we can still... Yeah, we should still be good. Because we can just not take a damage. As long as I don't take a damage, I'm going to play the Foothills and not crack it. I am going to float all this mana, though. Float green. Alright. Cast Violent Outburst. Glimpse of Tomorrow. For a lot. A lot. This should be enough. I wonder if they just didn't have a Cage, because I think Cage would have been good enough, right? I think this might just be lethal straight up. No, it's definitely lethal. Draw a card off the Omnath, make some things, get some Chancellor tokens, give them all +1/+0. I guess they can shoot 3 tokens with the Chancellor, huh? Is that enough? It might be. So these are all 3s. So they block 1, shoot 3. They only take 8, right? No, they would take 6 and go to 8. I mean, the outburst isn't really doing much for me. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have exiled Pyromancer in response to this trigger, which I definitely should have done. Yeah, that was a mistake. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yep, I should have done that for sure. 100%. I might as well just exile the Pyromancer now. No reason not to. Because I could have had 2 extra attackers here. I would have had to fetch. No, I wouldn't have had to fetch. Yeah, because I would have just... I did this anyways, so yeah. We do trade off the Ballista, and they kind of have to draw all his dust now. So, I don't know. I mean, that'd still be fine, but that was definitely a mistake. Definitely a mistake. So they take 6, go to 8. Make an Omnath trigger, put them to 4. Well, let's hope they don't draw all his dust. Can beat pretty much anything else. So we would have had lethal, right? If I had 2 more attackers, they'd be at 2, and then I could have just fetch, and they just died of the Omnath on upkeep. But didn't get punished for the misplay. So a nice little 4-1, losing to Sultai Food. Deck was a blast. I'm gonna have a rough time editing this one, but it's worth it for the content. So there was a lot of sweet moments, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did make it all the way to the end, you're a trooper first and foremost. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And with that, I will see you in the next one.